Welcome to our garden update. We're in the glasshouse at Royal Roads. This glasshouse was built over 100 years ago and has been more or less in continuous use since then. We still use it for overwintering and for production, the only building on site that's still used for its original purpose. It used to be more the workhorse. There was a big conservatory up above it, which was taken down in the 50s, and this was the only one left standing. So at the moment we have geraniums and fuchsias in here that we're going to take out. I have a bit of a geranium collection which sort of started as these things do innocently enough with like 3 or 4 varieties and is now sort of mushroomed to over 70 varieties. If you walk through the greenhouse, you will see that we have a couple of grapes growing in here. We have one that was planted when they built the greenhouse. It's called a Black Hamburg, and it was the classic grape for growing in greenhouses in England. There's one growing at Hampton Court that was planted, I think, in 1768. The story is that this one is a cutting from that one, but everybody that has a Black Hamburg says that, so I don't know if it's true or not, but it's a good story and I'm sticking to it. In the middle of the house, we use it for more tropical plants, like the begonias, orchids, sort of more tender things. And we also have a bit of a succulent collection, which will also go outside, and we have that further back in the glasshouse. While we were wandering around the glasshouse, we noticed on these supports, which apparently originally were to grow peaches over, we haven't done that yet, we saw this writing on the wall, so to speak, and it says, earliest of all, 4th of the 3rd, 1918. And earliest of all is probably a cauliflower. It's still, in fact, you can get the seed for it today. And the 4th of March is when they would have sowed it in the glasshouse. And on the other side, we have Comet, which, same date, and I think that might have been a Brussels sprout. It's interesting to see that some things actually haven't really changed over 100 years, and it's still recognizable today. I think it would be a good idea to go check out the Bog Garden. We haven't been down there yet, and things are definitely starting to grow and bloom down there. We're here in the Bog Garden. It was originally grass. The Dunsmuirs had this all sort of smooth lawns down to the lake, but as the years went on, water was winning the battle, so they decided to go over to a bog with plants that like growing in water and not have to worry about cutting the grass. So you can see there's some primulas, the Candelabra Primulas. There's several different species that work here. There's the japonica, which is sort of a common one, but there's also bulliana, beesiana, which is giving these different sort of salmon and orangey yellowish shades as well. We also have the Libertia, which is the white flower sort of just behind me, and this does well in sort of damp situations as well. There is the skunk cabbage and the huge leaves. This particular one is actually a cross between our native skunk cabbage and the Asian one. They're the same species but different varieties. The Asian one is white, and this particular one has a white flower, so when it comes out it's not very common to see that, but it's very beautiful when it's out. We also have lots of different ferns, regersias, horsetail, which is always with us, and it's been around for 60 million years, so I don't think we're going to get rid of it very easily. There's some other ones that aren't quite in flower now. We've got the Calla Lilies, which are out. There's Rogersia, which will be out in a couple months and is very beautiful. Huge, huge leaves, and a lot of the bog plants, it's not so much the flowers that we're growing them for, it's for these massive subtropical looking leaves that cover up masses of area and just give it a very sort of subtropical look. You can hear the water running behind us, and that is from the fish ladder. James Dunsmuir, when he was building the garden, asked to have a fish ladder put in. So it runs from the lagoon through the 3 lakes, and sea-run cutthroat trout will come up it. So they move in and out of the lakes as feed and supply dictate. So at almost any time of the year, you can see the fish jumping in the lakes. Next week, I think the rose garden is going to be at full cry. It's already starting to open up. It's really a spectacular sight once they're all out.